Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today's video I'm actually very excited for because I thought of it myself. I'm very nervous. So I'm going to be doing my makeup in the dark, okay? And there's no mirrors. I'm about to show you that in a second. I have no mirrors. I'll show you my setup. So I won't be cheating and looking. It's going to be dark. I'm going to take my glasses off so I can't see in the dark really anyways. But I'll just show you that now, and then we'll get into the second part when that comes, after I show you this, okay? Okay. So I have my makeup here. I still have some over there I'm gonna grab. And as you can see, there's nothing. But yeah, there's no mirror. I closed the blinds, and then this is my makeshift tripod right now that you guys are gonna be standing on. But there's no mirrors. No mirrors, right? There's nothing. Dio's here with me just for, company. He's always by me. But I'm gonna sit you guys back up there, and then we will, I guess, get into the video. So as you can see, we're in the dark, but there is a twist, like I said. So the twist is, I'm gonna tell you scary stories, like from personal experience or from people that I know, while I do this. So I'm trying not to see too much, because I know people do their makeup in the dark. I know that's not a new thing, but I don't think I've seen anyone tell scary stories while doing it. I could be totally wrong, but I came up with that thought, an idea, I think yesterday, and I just kind of ran with it. I didn't want to dig too deep in it because I was like super excited to be like, I thought of this. So Raheem graciously has given me some what do you call them? IR chem sticks, infrared chem sticks. Just to like get spooky in there, that way you guys can see me. I'm so nervous. Why am I so nervous? Okay. But I figured I would start with a story from a family member. And I'll go over some of mine too, which just like went right up my nose. I figured I would start with a family member because she just explained this story to me, so I want to keep it like fresh in my mind. And she said I could tell the story. So my brother's girlfriend, and I believe she said they were kids, like her and her sister. I mean, it had to have been because she said they were in a bunk bed, but her sister was, I think, on the top bunk. I already forgotten, she just told me the story. But her sister was asleep on the top bunk, I believe. She was trying to sleep on the bottom bunk. And she said in their room, there was like this vanity, like with the dresser type thing, and then it had like the mirror on it. And she said she like looked over, like I said, her older sister was sleeping. But she looked over, and in the mirror, oh my god, I have goosebumps, you guys. She said she looked over, and there was like these, like, she explained them as Muppets in the mirror, but like kind of coming out of the mirror, but they weren't regular Muppets. They were like evil, creepy Muppets with like long fingernails and like sharp teeth, and they were like, I don't know if you can see my hand, but they were like doing this, like trying to get her and like tell her to come into the mirror, like to, oh my god. My legs are like pure goosebumps, you guys. I can't, that one really creeps me out for some reason. I don't know if it's because just how creepy that is. I don't know, I haven't heard anything like that until she told me, and then I guess they said that they were listening to podcasts, and I guess that's like a pretty common thing that people experience, but I won't go into that because I'm actually genuinely like really freaking creeped out. But yeah, so there were like these ugly, like sharp toothed, long nailed Muppets that were like trying to like bring her to the mirror. Oh my god. Oh god, okay. Literally, I just have chills all over. I'll tell you one of my parents My mom and like our side of the family believe that we have like sensitivities to certain things, like spirits and energies and stuff like that. In my parents' house, like we, oh my god, I'm getting chills, like why? I'm scared. But like we've lived in that house, you know, my whole childhood and everything, and like being sensitive or whatever, we never really had anything crazy happen, like thank God. We always feel very like comfortable. With that being said, there has been a couple things that have happened, but it's all, I'm just like drawing. It's always been something that we never felt really threatened by. But yeah, my parents never really experienced anything. My dad is very much like a logical person, and he's like a skeptic. So when it was like stuff at our house, he would be like, oh, like no, there's nothing here, you guys are crazy. There's nothing here, like I don't feel anything bad. Oh, you know what I just remembered? JJ, tell me if you remember this. We were home alone, it was summertime. I swear to God, we were in the kitchen, probably making corn dogs. I was standing somewhere in the kitchen with my back to like the microwave, and then all of a sudden, like a whole loaf of bread that was sitting on top of the microwave, like not just like fell and plopped down, but it like fell and like landed in the middle of the kitchen. I don't know if you remember that, but I was like, what? And then you were like, oh, it probably just fell, and I was like, no. You don't sound like that, but you were just like, it probably just fell, and I was like, no. But stuff like that, like we would tell Dad that, and then Dad would just be like, oh, it's nothing, like it's just your imagination, you're exaggerating, blah blah blah. This one time, my parents bought, ooh, I don't like this, I have chills, okay. I swear to God, if I look back on this footage, oh my God, please let there be nothing, God. I don't even know how dark my eyebrows are, okay. But one time my parents, I believe they said they got it from Costco, because they always shop at Costco, but they bought chips, a bag of chips. Him and my mom got the bag of chips when they got home. They sat down in the living room, and they were like watching TV, hanging out. And at this point, me and my brother were like way moved out of the house, so it was just them. And I believe Lila was still alive, but she was so old, if anything, that like she was just chilling by herself. But, and I'm saying that just to like to kind of set the premise that it couldn't have been really anything else. It was weird, but they got this bag of chips. They sat down in the living room, and they have these like specific seats that they. They have like specific seating, right? So mom and dad like sit in their chair. One of them goes to open the bag of chips. When they opened it, they said they heard like a kid laughing, but like running past. And they kind of looked at each other, and then one of them was like, oh, weird. And then they looked outside, you know, to see if there's any kids on the street or something. There's nobody. So they look at each other like, you heard that, right? And then I think it was my dad, just goes like, it sounded literally like it came out of the bag. Like, how creepy is that? Like, you open a bag of potato chips, and it was like something was stuck in there. And they said it sounded like a kid literally just ran between their two seats, but it came out of the bag and just like, woo, and like just disappeared in the corner of the living room. Like, it just ran through. Ew, I have chills. Okay. And my ghost story. What is the shiny thing behind me? There's nothing there. Oh my god. Okay. I literally have like the cold sweats from being nervous. So my dad's dad passed away when I was really small. Like I literally was, I think, like a couple weeks old, and he passed away before he got to meet me. And so my dad would always tell me the story about how he would call his dad, or how he called his dad to tell him about when I was born, and my grandpa was like, oh yeah, I can't wait to meet her, but he passed away before he could meet me. It's gonna be a lot. But I was like probably 7 when this happened, and I remember specifically it was summertime. I was in the kitchen. I believe Dad was cooking, Mom was doing something. I just come inside from playing, and I had like all these mosquito bites and stuff, and so I was like telling my mom and dad, I was like, I'm so itchy. And then Mom or Dad or whoever was like, oh, go to the bathroom and get the calamine lotion and we can put that on your bug bites. And back then they had this huge mirror in the bathroom, and it had like the cabinet like mirrors that you could open, and I pulled open the mirrors like this to look for the calamine lotion, but when I opened the one that showed the reflection of my parents' bedroom, I saw a figure. And you know, I'm like 7, I'm by myself, my brother was either outside or somewhere, my parents are in the kitchen, and I got so scared. Like I literally froze just because I was scared, but like in my heart I knew that it wasn't anything serious. I closed the mirrors and I immediately turned like this to like look at the figure. And when I saw it, the figure was this like middle-aged man, not very tall, but kind of taller and skinny and kind of like see-through, but his body ended like under, or I mean above his knees, and he was kind of like in a cloud of like dust, and he had on a like cowboy hat and a sheepskin, like, oh, I'm scared now, sheepskin like cowboy jacket and dirty jeans, and like it was almost like he was in a cloud of dust, and he was like really like scruffy. And I looked at him and I was still scared because I was like, what am I seeing? Like there's a man in my parents' room. Oh wait, it's the glitter on my eye. I was like, why did I see a flash of something? But I was like, why am I seeing this guy? But like I said, I was scared, but I had like a good feeling about it, and I looked at him and I was just like, you feel very familiar, but I was still scared. So I ran to my parents' room and I was like, yo, I just saw a dude in your room. And they were like, what? And I was like, I saw a ghost. And then they like described it, and like literally within two words of me speaking, my dad was like, that's my dad. And I was just like, what? And then he was like, yeah, your grandpa, the one that passed away. And I was just like, and then they showed me a picture and they were like, did he look like that? And I was like, that's literally the guy. He was like, it was the same picture but like in real life. And it was just, my dad was like, wow, he came to say bye. Like he came to meet you and then say his goodbye and tell you that he loves you. That way he met you, because he never got to meet you as a baby. I'm trying to think of another story that's like good. So these houses, these military houses that we're in, they're kind of notorious for like scary things happening, and like, I do not, can you stop moving? It's scaring me. One of them was a lady in our neighborhood on my street again. She was home alone because her husband was deployed as well, and she was downstairs in the living room, and I don't know if you guys could tell, but the downstairs area, the ceiling in that one room is literally endless. It's so tall. She said she was downstairs in that room, and like this figure like turned the corner or something, and she said it was so tall and skinny. She said she started running up the stairs. She said the thing was so tall, it had hair apparently. Oh, it had hair, and the hair was like scratching the surface of the lights on the ceiling, running up the stairs after her. I don't like that. My legs just got so goosebumpy. Oh my god. But it was like chasing her up the stairs, and then it like stopped chasing her like halfway. But its hair was scraping the lights. I was like, are you kidding me? I would not sleep there. Once Raheem finally came home, some things would happen, and I would like tell him, and Raheem's very skeptical. Raheem doesn't believe in like ghost stuff or anything like that that like really creeps him out and stuff. Like he just doesn't buy it. He's very, very skeptical. He's had one, I'm scared. Okay. But one weird thing that happened to Raheem that he actually brought to my attention, that sounds scary, was we left to go somewhere, so we got in the car. He thought he left something inside, like his wallet or whatever, so he ran in quickly to go get his wallet. And then I stayed in the car because I didn't need anything, so he ran in the house really quick. He ran upstairs, and he said when he got upstairs, he heard me call for him. And then he was like, yeah. And then he like waited a second, and he was like, yeah. And then he like looked down the balcony or whatever, and I wasn't there. And then so he like ran downstairs, then went outside in the car and was like, were you inside? And I was like, no. And he was like, oh, weird. And I was like, why? And then he was like, oh, nothing, never mind. And I was just like, no, you need to tell me. So he told me that, but yeah. Nothing super creepy. I mean, that's pretty creepy, but I don't like to think about it, so. When I was because I used to be a baker, right? So I worked at this place in town. I would work I worked alone, like absolutely alone. It wasn't pretty much. I worked alone, and I worked before the store opened, and there was only a couple other people that worked in the store at the same time, but they worked in a completely different kitchen, like down the hall, like far, far away. But I would have to go through the store and get my own groceries, like shop for the day that I was using to like bake stuff. So I'd have to do that at like 6, 7 in the morning when there's no lights on in the whole store. So I would get my little basket or whatever and then walk the halls, or like the aisles I mean, and there was one aisle I would walk down, and no matter what, it sounded like there was footsteps behind me. And I would turn and look, and then I wouldn't see anybody. And like none of the managers, the store owners weren't there. It was literally just me in that whole storefront. And then I would just like, okay, it's just your mind, Ashley, like keep walking. And it's like completely rhythmic to like one step behind you, and you just hear it like walking. I'll turn and look, nothing. Like that happened a lot. And then there was like this corner of that store where it was just dark. Like there was that whole side of the store, oh, I'm getting goosebumps, was just dark. Like even if there was floodlights and like small lamps and stuff, it was like it lit nothing until the whole store, like big lights came on. But I used to hate going in that back corner in the storefront, and because it was just so dark and creepy, and like every time I would like walk past or like look down at it, it almost looked like something like, you know, like ducked and looked at me or something. It always looked like I could see something back there. And it made me so uneasy going in that little corner, which thank God I didn't really have to. But it came up later. I was talking to one of my managers. She said one of the customers had come into the store and said that she was a medium, and told my manager that there is a spot in the store that there is a spirit, and it lives there, it stays there. And I kid you not, it was that same corner of the store where I thought I would always see stuff and hear stuff. And mind you, my manager and I had not like told her each other that. Like she randomly came up to me. She had no idea that I had like weird experiences in the bakery and like in the store. And she was just like, a medium came in today and like said that like our store's haunted. And I was like, well, I could have told you that. And she was just like, what? And I was like, yeah, dude, like creepy. Like even inside the bakery, like I'm trying to speed because I don't have that much battery, you guys, so I'm sorry if I'm talking really fast. I kid you not, I was by myself in that bakery. You had to have the key code access to get inside that room because of cross-contamination, and I was the only worker in there. And I would always have music playing, but I would still hear stuff happening in the kitchen. And it's not like a mix-up of me mishearing something with the music, because my music would be off in the furthest corner and I would hear something right next to me like tapping. and it was always this, my heart's like beating really fast. I would like have my back to the whole bakery, and there was this big shelf with all of my like bowls, my measuring cups, and everything was plastic and metal, but I don't know what it is, but I would like have my back to everything, and like things would like tap on the metal cups and like plastic measuring cups. Stuff would fall all the time in the bakery, like fall off of hanging hooks, and papers would always flutter by themselves in the bakery. And I had my own air system in there just because of like the gluten-free, they didn't want contamination. So I had my own airflow and everything, but like where the papers were was not next to the air vent. So it wasn't like an air issue. And like I said before, the door was closed. It wasn't me. Like I would be at the stove or baking or something on the other side of the bakery, and then I would have my back to it, and then I would hear like papers falling off, like falling off of the table. And I would look, and like my printer paper or like my calendar paper or something would be all like somebody was like whoosh, and like, you know, like feathering out the paper or falling stuff, and like stuff would topple over, and I would hear voices outside my door and like open the door and like nobody's there. Or I would hear people like run past and like make a mess in the hallway. Like it sounded like somebody was outside sorting boxes and like hitting the outside walls of my door and everything. And I would open the door expecting to see like the produce guy or whatever, but he wasn't there. Okay, so that's it for these scary stories. I guess I'll turn the lights on and show you what's happening. So, okay. Oh, okay. You guys, let me see myself. That is beautiful. I hope you guys like this video. I was really creeped out. I thought it was a really great video idea, so I hope you liked it. Give it a thumbs up if you did like it. Leave a comment down below if you have a scary story, or if you want to hear more scary stories from me, let me know, because this is actually pretty fun. Also, share my video if you would like to, and if you have not, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! Read that. Don't worry about me, worry about your eyebrows. My dad got me this one.